Aisha was a young woman full of dreams and hopes. She lived in a small town where everyone knew each other. Her life was simple, filled with work, friends, and small joys, but deep down, she always felt that something was missing, a connection that would make her heart truly happy. One day, while walking through the local park, she noticed a man sitting alone on a bench, smiling gently at the children playing nearby. There was something calm and warm about him, something that made people around feel comfortable, curious. She walked closer and saw that he had a slight disability. His leg was not fully strong, and he used a small cane to walk. Many people would have judged him or looked away, but Aisha felt no fear, no hesitation, only a sense of calm. She smiled at him, and he returned it. His name was Imran, and he had lived in the town for many years. Though most people barely knew him, they started talking about small things at first, the weather, the park, the children playing, but soon their conversation became deeper. Aisha found herself laughing at his gentle jokes, and Imran was surprised at how easy it was to talk to her. He had met many people who only saw his disability, but Aisha seemed to see him, the real him, his thoughts, his dreams, his feelings. For the first time in a long time, Imran felt understood, not pitted or judged. Days passed, and their meetings in the park became regular. They would talk about their favorite books, the small joys of life, and even their fears and struggles. Aisha shared her dreams of traveling, helping people, and living a life full of love and meaning. Imran spoke about his own struggles, the challenges of living with a handicap, and how people often treated him differently. But he never complained. He only explained. And Aisha listened with an open heart. Their friendship grew stronger, and slowly, something beautiful started to bloom between them. It was not a love story that started with fireworks or sudden attraction. It was a quiet, growing connection, the kind that touches your soul slowly but deeply. Aisha realized that she admired Imran for his strength, his patience, and his kindness. And Imran found himself drawn to her warmth, her understanding, and the way she made him feel normal. She never saw him as someone weak or different, and that acceptance made him feel proud and loved. People around them noticed the change too. The way their eyes would light up when they saw each other, the way their smiles lingered, even in silence. But their connection was not without challenges. Aisha knew that society would not understand their bond easily. Many would judge her for being with a handicapped man, and Imran often worried about whether he could truly make her happy. There were nights when he doubted himself, thinking maybe someone like her deserved someone normal. But every time, she reminded him that love is not about appearances. It is about heart, about kindness, respect, and support. And slowly, they started believing in each other more than anyone else. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky with shades of pink and gold, they sat together under a tree, talking about their hopes for the future. Aisha felt a warmth in her chest she had never felt before, a feeling of safety, belonging, and joy. And Imran, holding his cane beside him, realized that he had found someone who truly saw him, who valued him for who he was, not what society thought of him. That moment, simple and quiet, became the foundation of something bigger, a bond that was about to change both of their lives forever. Little did they know that this friendship, this gentle connection, would grow into a love story that no one in their town could forget. It was the beginning of a journey full of challenges, surprises, and unforgettable moments. And it all started with a simple meeting in the park, a smile, and the courage to see someone beyond what meets the eye. Aisha and Imran's story was not about disability. It was about love, understanding, and the magic that happens when two hearts truly connect. Aisha and Imran's friendship continued to grow stronger, but it was not without its challenges. The world around them often whispered doubts, and sometimes those whispers reached their ears. Aisha's family had noticed her new closeness with Imran, and though they loved her, they could not hide their concerns. "Are you sure about him?" her mother asked one afternoon, her voice gentle but filled with worry. "He is kind." "Yes, but he is handicapped, and life will not be easy for either of you." Aisha looked at her mother, her eyes steady. "I care about him because of who he is, not what he can or cannot do," she said calmly, trying to explain the depth of her feelings. Her father, sitting nearby, frowned slightly, but said nothing, unsure how to respond. Meanwhile, Imran faced his own struggles within his family and his mind. He often worried about being good enough for Aisha. He feared that her life would be harder with him, that she might regret her choice when reality tested their love. Some nights, he sat alone by the window, staring at the stars, thinking about how society judged people like him, and wondering if love could truly conquer prejudice. But Aisha's faith in him, her laughter, and her constant encouragement slowly eased his fears. Their bond became a quiet rebellion against the opinions of others. They met often in small cafes, in parks, and sometimes even just walked through the streets talking about everything and nothing. Aisha loved how Imran observed the world, how he noticed little things others ignored, like the colors of flowers, the sounds of birds, or the smile of a stranger passing by. Imran admired Aisha's courage, her kindness to everyone she met, and her ability to see beauty in simple things in each other. They found understanding that neither had experienced before, a feeling of being truly known and accepted. One day, while walking near the river, Aisha spoke about her dreams. "I want to do something meaningful with my life, something that leave a mark," she said, skipping small stones across the water. Imran smiled. "I want that too, maybe not the same way, but I want to make a difference, even if it is just in small ways," he replied. Their conversations often wandered into dreams, hopes, and fears, and every word drew them closer. It was in these moments that they realized their connection was not just friendship, it was something rare, something worth protecting. However, not everyone around them understood. Some neighbors whispered about Aisha spending so much time with a handicapped man. Some friends began to question her choices, hinting that she deserved someone more normal. But Aisha ignored them. Her heart, guided by her own sense of truth, she began to understand that love was not about approval from others. It was about standing together, supporting each other, and embracing life's challenges hand in hand. Imran, too, started to feel a quiet strength within himself, knowing that someone truly believed in him. Over time, their relationship deepened. Small gestures became meaningful. A smile could brighten a whole day, and simple conversations could heal long-standing doubts. Aisha helped Imran see his own worth, and Imran reminded Aisha that love was about trust, patience, and understanding. One evening, after a long walk, Imran stopped under a streetlight, looking at Aisha with a nervous but sincere expression. "I don't know what the future holds," he said softly, "but I do know that I want you in my life, always." Aisha's eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of joy. "And I want you too, no matter what happens," she whispered back. That night, as they walked home together, hand in hand, the world felt lighter, as if their courage and love had created a small bubble where only they existed. The challenges were real, the doubts were there, but the connection they shared was stronger than any fear or judgment. Little did they know that their journey, which had started with a simple meeting in the park, was about to take a new turn, one filled with excitement, anticipation, and a surprise that would change everything. As the months passed, Aisha and Imran's bond grew deeper, and they began thinking about a future together. Their love had survived whispers, doubts, and silent judgments, and now it was strong enough to face something bigger. The idea of marriage started appearing in their conversations, not as a distant dream, but as a real possibility. One afternoon, while sitting under their favorite tree in the park, Imran's eyes were full of thoughtfulness. "Aisha," he said softly, "I've been thinking about us, about the future, and I want to take a step that changes everything for us." Aisha looked at him, her heart skipping a beat, sensing the seriousness behind his words. Imran had planned something simple, yet deeply meaningful. He didn't want grandeur or expensive gestures. He wanted honesty, emotion, and a moment that truly reflected their journey. Over the next few days, he carefully prepared, choosing a quiet spot in the park where they had first met, arranging a small bouquet of her favorite flowers, and writing a short letter that spoke from his heart. Every word was about love, respect, and the bond that had grown between them. On the day of the proposal, Aisha arrived at the park without suspecting a thing. The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. Imran waited, his cane beside him, a small nervous smile on his face. As she approached, he handed her the letter, and she opened it with trembling hands. The words inside spoke of their journey, the challenges they had faced together, and his desire to spend his life with her. Tears welled up in Aisha's eyes as she read, feeling every emotion in every line. Then Imran knelt down on one knee, his voice steady but full of emotion. "Aisha, will you marry me?" he asked, looking up at her with hope, love, and a little fear of rejection. Aisha felt her heart swell. She remembered the first time they met, the laughter, the shared dreams, the quiet moments of understanding, and the courage it had taken for both of them to stand against judgment and fear. With a radiant smile, she whispered, "Yes, I will." The park seemed to celebrate with them, the wind gently rustling the leaves as if agreeing with their love. News of the engagement spread quickly, and reactions were mixed. Some were genuinely happy for the couple, inspired by the strength of their love. Others expressed doubt, wondering if Aisha had made the right choice. Aisha felt the weight of everyone's expectations, but she held Imran's hand tightly and knew that their decision was theirs alone. It was not about society's opinion. It was about two hearts choosing each other despite everything. As wedding preparations began, Aisha and Imran faced new challenges. Not all venues were accessible. Some vendors were hesitant, and relatives had differing opinions. But the couple remained united, their love giving them strength. Every obstacle became an opportunity to show determination, creativity, and teamwork. Friends who once doubted them now began offering help, inspired by the couple's courage. Imran even surprised Aisha by taking small steps himself, planning some details to make her feel special, showing that he could contribute despite his handicap. The proposal had been a turning point, not only for their relationship, but for how others began seeing them. Their love story was no longer a quiet connection. It was a message to everyone around them. That love is about respect, understanding, and unwavering support, not appearances, status, or physical ability. Aisha often reflected on their journey, realizing how far they had come. From a simple meeting in the park to this moment of engagement, it had been a path filled with challenges, laughter, small victories, and countless shared dreams. And as they walked together that evening, hand in hand, planning the wedding and imagining their life ahead, they felt a quiet confidence, a feeling that nothing could break the bond they had nurtured. Little did they know that their upcoming wedding would hold a surprise so unexpected that it would leave everyone speechless, a moment that would change the story of their love forever. The weeks leading up to the wedding were filled with excitement, planning, and unexpected challenges. Aisha and Imran wanted their special day to be perfect, not for society, but for themselves and the love they shared. Every detail mattered, from the decorations to the music, from the flowers to the seating arrangements. Yet they also knew that their love was the most important part, not the grandeur of the celebration. Despite their excitement, preparing for the wedding was not easy. Some relatives continued to voice their doubts, questioning Aisha's choice. "Are you sure this is the right decision?" one aunt asked, her tone full of concern. Others whispered behind their backs, judging Imran for his disability, suggesting that life with him would be too difficult. Aisha, however, remained calm and firm. She knew that their happiness did not depend on what others thought. Every kind word from Imran, every smile they shared, reminded her why she had chosen him. Imran faced his own set of challenges. Trying to balance his excitement with his insecurities, he worried constantly about whether he could live up to Aisha's dreams, whether society's judgment would affect her in ways he could not protect her from. Some days, he felt heavy with doubt, but then he would see Aisha laughing at a small joke or noticing the beauty of a flower, and he remembered that love was about support, understanding, and patience. It was about facing life's challenges together, no matter how hard. As the wedding approached, friends and neighbors began to play a bigger role. Some who had once doubted them now stepped forward to help, carrying tables, arranging flowers, and offering ideas to make the ceremony smooth and memorable. Their support was a reminder that love and courage could inspire even the skeptics. Meanwhile, Aisha and Imran continued to dream, imagining the first moment they would see each other at the altar, imagining the smiles, tears, and laughter that would fill the room. Their anticipation grew each day, mixed with nervous excitement. The couple also worked on personal touches for the wedding. Aisha decided she wanted something meaningful rather than extravagant. She wanted their love story reflected in the decorations, in the vows, and in every small gesture. Imran, determined to make her feel special, spent time learning a small song on a flute, practicing quietly so that it would surprise her on the wedding day. These little acts of care, unseen by most, deepen the bond between them, showing that love is expressed not only in words, but in thoughtful deeds. Despite all the preparations, tension occasionally surfaced. Some family members argued over minor details, causing stress and uncertainty. Imran sometimes felt overwhelmed, wishing he could make everything perfect. Aisha, noticing his unease, would take his hand and remind him that perfection was not the goal. Love, trust, and togetherness were. And slowly, the tension melted away, replaced by excitement, anticipation, and a quiet joy that only those who have found true love can understand. As the final days arrived, the town began to notice the unusual energy surrounding the couple. People talked about their story, about how a simple friendship had grown into a deep, unwavering love. Some still doubted, but many were inspired by the courage of two people who refused to let society dictate their happiness. Aisha and Imran, meanwhile, focused only on each other, sharing quiet moments, long walks, and heartfelt conversations about their future. Every laugh, every shared glance reminded them that their love was stronger than any challenge they had faced so far. And as the night before the wedding arrived, Aisha and Imran sat together under the stars, talking about the day ahead. Their hearts were full of hope, excitement, and a little nervousness. They did not know the big surprise that awaited them. A surprise that would make the wedding unforgettable not just for them, but for everyone who witnessed it. In that quiet moment, holding hands, they felt ready to face everything together, confident that their love could overcome anything. The day of the wedding finally arrived, and the town seemed to buzz with excitement. Everyone had heard about Aisha and Imran's story, some with curiosity, some with doubt, and others with admiration. Aisha woke early, her heart racing with anticipation. She looked at her reflection in the mirror, adjusting her dress, a mix of nervousness and excitement flooding her. Today was not just a celebration. It was a declaration of their love, a moment they had both waited for with hope and courage. Imran, meanwhile, prepared quietly, practicing his speech in his mind. He wanted every word to reflect his gratitude, love, and commitment. Though he often felt nervous about his disability, today he felt strong, supported by the love that had grown between him and Aisha over the months. Every step he took toward the wedding hall was filled with determination, a quiet confidence shining in his eyes. Friends and family watched as the couple moved through their preparations, some smiling in support, others still skeptical, but all sensing the depth of the bond between them. The wedding hall was beautifully decorated, simple yet elegant. Flowers lined the aisle, soft music filled the air, and a gentle scent of jasmine made the room feel warm and inviting. Guests began to arrive, some familiar faces, others curious onlookers. Everyone watched as Aisha entered, her dress flowing like a river of white, and her smile lighting up the room. The murmurs of admiration and surprise filled the hall. But Aisha's eyes were only on Imran, who waited at the altar, his smile steady and full of love. As the ceremony began, the officiant spoke of love, acceptance, and unity, but it was the small moments that stole everyone's attention. The way Aisha held her bouquet, the way Imran's hands trembled slightly but stayed firm, and the way their eyes never left each other. It was a silent declaration that nothing could shake the bond they had built. Every guest could feel the emotions in the air, some wiping tears, others holding their breath in anticipation of what would come next. When it was time for vows, Imran stepped forward, his voice strong despite a slight quiver. He spoke of the first time they met in the park, of the laughter, the conversations, and the moments of understanding that had brought them to this day. "Aisha, you saw me when no one else did," he said softly. "You love me not for what I can do, but for who I am, and I promise to spend my life honoring that love." Aisha's eyes filled with tears as she repeated her own vows, promising love, respect, and unwavering support, every word spoken from the heart. The ceremony was moving, but the most unforgettable moment was yet to come. Aisha and Imran exchanged rings, sealing their commitment, and everyone expected the wedding to follow the traditional celebrations. But then, a murmur spread through the hall, a hint of surprise and curiosity in everyone's eyes. Imran smiled at Aisha, a secret shared only between them, and she felt a rush of excitement and nervousness. Something extraordinary was about to happen, something that would make their wedding not just a celebration of love, but a story that no one would ever forget. As the couple prepared to walk down the aisle together, a special guest appeared unexpectedly, bringing a wave of shock and joy. The room filled with whispers and gasps as everyone realized the presence of someone from Imran's past, someone whose return was as surprising as it was meaningful. The atmosphere changed, turning from anticipation to awe. The wedding had already been beautiful, but this surprise would transform it into a memory that would live in the hearts of everyone present forever. And as Aisha and Imran held hands, smiling at each other, the crowd watched in amazement, knowing they were witnessing not just a wedding, but a story of love, courage, acceptance, and the magic of life's unexpected moments. The big surprise had arrived, and with it, the start of a chapter that no one could have predicted, yet everyone would remember for a lifetime. The wedding had already been touching, but the moment everyone had been waiting for was about to unfold. Just as Aisha and Imran stood hand in hand, smiling at each other, the doors at the back of the hall slowly opened, and a hush fell over the crowd. All eyes turned toward the entrance, curious, confused, and full of anticipation. Imran's heart skipped a beat as he saw a familiar figure stepping inside. Someone he had not seen in years, yet someone whose presence could change everything. It was his father, who had been absent from his life for as long as he could remember, walking slowly with a gentle smile and a look of pride in his eyes. The room seemed to hold its breath as Imran's father approached. Every guest could feel the tension and emotion building. Aisha squeezed Imran's hand, silently encouraging him, her eyes full of support and understanding. Imran felt a rush of memories, the loneliness, the unanswered questions, and a longing for family. But now, standing before him, was a chance for reconciliation, a moment he had never expected to experience on his wedding day. His father stopped in front of him, kneeling slightly to meet his eyes, and said, "Son, I am proud of you, and I am sorry for all the years I was absent." Tears welled up in Imran's eyes as he listened, a mix of relief, joy, and disbelief flooding his heart. Aisha stood beside him, silently holding his hand, feeling the weight of the moment and the beauty of forgiveness. The guests, too, were moved, some whispering, some crying quietly, witnessing a reunion that felt almost like a miracle. Imran's father then presented a small, intricately carved box, explaining that it was a family heirloom meant to be passed down to someone worthy, someone who had shown strength, love, and courage. Imran opened it slowly, revealing a beautiful pendant, a symbol of family, resilience, and continuity. The unexpected arrival of his father transformed the wedding from a simple celebration of love into a story of reconciliation and hope. Guests who had doubted the union now felt inspired, seeing the depth of human emotion, forgiveness, and connection. Aisha's heart swelled as she watched Imran embrace his father, knowing that this moment was a reminder that love can heal wounds, bridge gaps, and create unforgettable memories. The room was filled with warmth, the kind that only comes when hearts are open and forgiveness flows freely. Imran's father spoke to the guests, sharing the story of his absence, the mistakes he had made, and the pride he felt for his son. His words were heartfelt, humbling, and full of love. Everyone listened, captivated by the honesty and emotion, and even those who had been skeptical of the couple's relationship now understood the strength and resilience that had brought them here. The pendant was placed around Imran's neck, a symbol not just of family, but of the journey he had taken, the love he had found, and the life he was now beginning with Aisha. Aisha and Imran exchanged glances, their eyes shining with tears, laughter, and joy. This was more than a wedding moment. It was a life-changing event that would be remembered forever. The surprise had not only brought back a lost connection, but it also reminded everyone present that life's most meaningful moments are often unexpected, miraculous, and deeply emotional. In that hall, surrounded by family, friends, and love, they realized that their story was bigger than themselves, a story that would inspire hope, courage, and love for years to come. The wedding continued with laughter, music, and dancing, but the memory of the surprise lingered in everyone's hearts. The lesson was clear. Love and forgiveness can overcome absence, doubt, and fear, and even the most unexpected moments can become the most treasured. Aisha and Imran felt more connected than ever, their hearts full of gratitude, love, and hope, knowing that no matter what challenges life would bring, they had each other, a supportive family, and a story worth sharing. The big surprise had transformed their wedding into an unforgettable celebration, one that no one would ever forget. After the big surprise, the atmosphere in the wedding hall was electric. Every guest was talking about Imran's father's unexpected arrival, the emotional reunion, and the precious pendant that symbolized love, family, and forgiveness. The wedding had already been beautiful, but now it felt unforgettable, as if every heart in the room was beating in unison with happiness. Aisha and Imran walked hand in hand among their guests, smiling, waving, and sharing quiet moments that reflected the depth of their connection. Family members who had doubted the couple now embraced them with open hearts. Their smiles were genuine, their eyes shining with understanding. Some even apologized for their earlier skepticism, admitting that they had underestimated the power of love and courage. Aisha felt a warmth in her chest, knowing that the love she and Imran shared had not only brought them together, but had also inspired those around them. The realization filled her with gratitude, hope, and an unshakable confidence in their future. The celebration continued with music, laughter, and dancing. The hall was alive with joy, and even the quietest guests could not resist the energy that love had created. Imran played the flute he had practiced for weeks, filling the room with soft, beautiful notes that made everyone stop and listen. The melody reflected their journey, full of emotion, patience, and beauty. Aisha's eyes glistened as she listened, feeling the love in every note and realizing that life had given them a gift beyond their imagination. Friends shared stories of the couple, speaking of their courage, resilience, and commitment. The way they had faced judgment, society's doubts, and personal insecurities became a source of inspiration. Some guests whispered about how rare it was to see such pure, unconditional love. Others talked about how the surprise had shown that family, forgiveness, and acceptance were more powerful than fear or prejudice. The wedding had become a celebration of not just two people's love, but the power of humanity to embrace, support, and forgive. Aisha and Imran also took time to speak privately with their families, expressing gratitude and love. Aisha hugged her parents, telling them that their support meant the world, and Imran's father held his son tightly, promising never to be absent again. These moments, small but profound, created a sense of unity and belonging, reminding everyone that love could heal old wounds and build stronger bonds. Even guests who had never met before were touched, feeling the magic that comes from witnessing genuine love. As the night progressed, the couple shared their first dance. The soft music and warm lighting made the moment magical. Their eyes locked, and the world seemed to disappear, leaving only the two of them. Their journey, from a quiet meeting in the park to this extraordinary wedding day, felt surreal, yet perfectly real. They had faced fears, insecurities, and social judgments, and now they stood together, stronger and happier than ever. The dance was not just a ritual. It was a celebration of their courage, commitment, and shared dreams. Guests cheered, clapped, and some wiped tears from their eyes. The wedding had transcended a simple ceremony, becoming a story of hope, love, and inspiration. Aisha and Imran felt a sense of pride, not for themselves alone, but for everyone who had believed in them, supported them, and been touched by their story. They realized that their love was bigger than any challenge, a bond that could inspire others to embrace courage, acceptance, and forgiveness in their own lives. As the evening came to an end, the couple looked around, seeing smiling faces, joyful hearts, and a room filled with unforgettable memories. The big surprise had changed everything, making their wedding not just a union of two people, but a celebration of love's power to transform lives. Aisha and Imran felt ready for the future, knowing that together they could face anything. Their journey had not ended. It was only beginning. Filled with hope, dreams, and endless possibilities, the wedding had become a story that would be remembered, shared, and cherished forever. The night after the wedding was quiet, yet filled with a sense of completion. Aisha and Imran sat together on the balcony of their small, cozy home. Watching the stars twinkle above, their hearts were still full of the emotions from the wedding, the surprise reunion with Imran's father, and the overwhelming love from friends and family. It felt like the world had finally made sense, as if all the struggles, doubts, and challenges had led them to this perfect moment. They reflected on their journey, remembering the day they first met in the park, the slow growth of their friendship, the quiet conversations, the shared dreams, and the challenges they had faced together. It amazed them how far they had come, how their love had turned whispers of doubt into admiration, and skepticism into inspiration. Aisha leaned her head on Imran's shoulder, feeling the strength of his presence, while Imran held her hand tightly, feeling grateful for every moment that had brought them together. Life was not perfect, and they knew challenges would still come. But after everything they had been through, they felt ready to face them together. Each difficulty now seemed smaller because they had each other. Each fear now seemed less frightening because they had found trust, courage, and unconditional love. Their bond had been tested and had grown stronger with every obstacle, teaching them patience, understanding, and the true meaning of partnership. In the following days, the couple began settling into their new life. The mornings were filled with laughter over small routines, the evenings with quiet conversations about their dreams, and every day carried the magic of knowing they had chosen each other. Not because it was easy, but because it was right. Friends continued to visit, inspired by the couple's journey, and neighbors who had once doubted now admired them. Some even admitted that the wedding and the big surprise had changed their perspective on love, courage, and acceptance. Aisha and Imran also made a promise to themselves to continue spreading love, kindness, and hope wherever they went. They volunteered in the community, shared their story with others facing challenges, and reminded people that true love sees beyond appearances, physical limitations, or social expectations. Their life became an example, not of perfection, but of strength, resilience, and the beauty of standing together. One afternoon, as they walked hand in hand through the park where it all began, Imran smiled and said, "Do you remember the first day we met?" Aisha laughed softly. "How could I forget?" That day changed everything. They sat on the same bench where their friendship had started, feeling the warmth of memories and the excitement of the future. They realized that love is not about grand gestures alone, but the quiet, everyday moments that create a life worth living. The story of their wedding, the big surprise, and the journey leading up to it spread beyond their town, inspiring others to embrace courage, acceptance, and unconditional love. People wrote letters, shared messages, and even sought advice on how to nurture relationships built on understanding and respect. Aisha and Imran never imagined their personal journey could touch so many lives. Yet they were humbled and grateful for the opportunity to make a difference. As the sun set on their first week of married life, they held each other close, feeling the strength of their love and the promise of a bright future. Every challenge they had faced seemed small compared to the joy, laughter, and hope they now shared. They knew that life would continue to test them. But together, they had found the courage to overcome anything. Their love had turned obstacles into lessons, doubts into trust, and ordinary days into extraordinary memories. And so, Aisha and Imran's journey continued, a story of love that defied judgment, embraced imperfection, and celebrated the unexpected. Their life together became a testament to the power of the human heart, a reminder that true love sees, understands, and accepts, a love that transforms lives, inspires communities, and leaves a legacy of hope. And as they watched the stars twinkle above, hand in hand, they knew that the greatest adventure was still ahead, filled with dreams, surprises, and a lifetime of love.